But what do you guys think about trans and intersex being more closely related? Because when people say or let it be known they're intersex, the stigma drops a lot. And from a religious perspective and so forth, people don't question up and down those who are intersex. Do you guys feel that your fight and who you are is closer to that identity than currently constructed with the LGBT?
Um, I feel like when it comes to intersex people, we often share some of the same issues because typically people who are intersex have this struggle with their identity or their gender identity, um, especially if they have, depending on the degree or like how far along they lie on the marker between masculine and feminine due to their intersexuality. Um, so there may be some gender dysphoria, some gender dissociation involved in that. So I can see that where we relate, and a lot of intersex people do end up being trans as a result of that. Or I don't even know if we can call them trans because they share some like I don't know. It's hard, but yeah, they could be trans as well. But I feel like we share that. Um, but I do feel like the T is on its island all by itself when it comes to the LGBT. We're definitely on an island by ourselves. Um, because a lot of people, regardless of the fact that they are lesbian, gay, they share some of the same negative stereotypical sentiments towards trans people as heterosexual people do, um, which is crazy to me. It's crazy to me how someone who could be a lesbian stud could call me a fag. That's crazy to me. Um,
Right.
and stuff like I've had experiences like that, or how gay men will go out and call me a man because a man is attracted to me, and because I was born a male, but call me a man or be like, oh, you're just a man that's trying to be a woman,
Mm.
but you're a gay man that's performing and acting like everything that comes with being a woman. And I think there's this underlying, I don't, it's not a rivalry, but an underlying kind of jealousy and animosity when it comes to the attention of straight men, between trans women and gay men, because a lot of gay men have a fantasy of being with a straight man, and a lot of trans women attract straight men. So I feel like that's where the jealousy comes in. And I feel like that jealousy, like straight men are the center of a bunch of jealousies between trans women and a lot of other people. Females have some jealousy in regards to straight men. Gay men have some jealousy towards trans women in regards to straight men. I feel like you guys are in the middle of everything. Because when we're by
So,
ourselves, we can
so
coexist in peace. And as soon as a straight man comes in the picture, discourse begins, which is so weird to me.
that's true. I was just about to bring that up, but before I do that, this is why I say I see the fights or plights of trans women or transgenders is the same as those who are intersex. One is, and being trans is more so about gender dysphoria and I guess you would say the mind and body in a way, but more so the mind and that the world can see. And intersex is a physical from off rip struggle. So I feel like if those two are bridged together, the acceptance becomes a lot more easier because of I see it, and I've had some people who told me they were intersex, and then I found out later that they're trans, and I asked them why, and it's easier. People don't come at them, ask them all these questions, this and the third, or see and think of them negatively because of that. But what you said, is big. Does anybody else want to say anything about the intersex and trans? Those identities being closer in struggle than the LGB.
You ate that. I definitely want to try that out. So I like to do like little social experiments, and I feel like the next time I get clocked or spooked, I'm gonna be like, no, I'm just intersex. I'm gonna see how they treat me.
Yeah, definitely try it out and see because somebody told me it and
I've
they
never
had
heard
a
of that.
fiance and everything. I was like, you got a fiance? Oh shit, you moving up in the world. They was like, yeah, this is intersex. But all the while,
Now,
like they were trans.
hold on for a second, brother. Can you Siege, what is intersex? What does that mean even? I never even heard of that. How you doing, Lika?
Hey,
Intersex.
So what basically is what we typically would call, I didn't even notice that somebody told me about it about a couple weeks ago. I was like, damn, that's derogatory. What we typically would call a hermaphrodite. Um
Oh, so intersex is the same thing as hermaphrodite. Well, are there?
yeah,
I don't think
but
that's a. Is that a
hermaphrodite is a
real thing? Are there
derogatory
really?
term.
wait. I thought intersex
Oh,
else from hermaphrodite. Hermaphrodite is when you have a penis and a vagina. Intersex is when your chromosomes
yeah,
can
that's
be
what I
off
thought.
and your body produces too much of the opposite chemical than it's supposed to. So you have a born female that now grows full beard, has a deep voice because she has more testosterone that a
That.
man would have. That's intersex.
Well, intersex
Mm.
people can have
Oh, okay, okay.
ambiguous genitalia upon birth. So what you can have is probably like an enlarged clitoris that could be interpreted as a penis. Um, or you could have a micro penis with a scrotum and develop breast tissue during, prepubescent stages and not have as much muscle mass and stuff like that.
Have a good night, Bree.
So it can be a mix of stuff.
Okay.
It's a very broad range for intersexuality.
So are there the whole what do you call it? Hermaphrodite thing? Is that a real thing? Or is that something they kind of just
Yeah.
made up?
No, it
Those
exists.
exist?
Yeah, I saw one in porn.
A
I was
full
like, what the fuck
hermaphrodite?
going
I'm
on
not
down
sure.
there? I was like, I thought it was some CGI shit, some Michael Bay shit going on. Like, nah, it's real. It's real.
It's a real thing. Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Shit, I never
I
knew.
feel like even if someone has
But I
bulk
will tell you though,
genitalia, default they
Lika
would be a
had me
female.
fooled. Lika got me. This was like a week or two ago. I was like, Lika, hey, you look amazing. Blah 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 blah. I wasn't thinking. I wasn't listening. And it was a little darker.
Yo,
That's Odo.
bingo. Like, what do
That's
you
Odo.
say?
They were getting
Yeah,
on
that's
me,
older.
boy.
Yeah.
They were clown. They still clown me over that. They still clown me over that. I was
And
like,
you
whatever.
see,
Anyone would have made
so
that mistake.
so that's the thing, brother. We were talking about earlier is that you shouldn't feel ashamed by you letting Lika know that you find her attractive. That lets people know that you're straight.
Mm-mm.
So, and we were talking about like what we were getting into now is gay men in trans and female spaces. So by them being in these spaces they feel that they're entitled to the same men when in all actuality these men who are attracted to them are totally different. They're not the same men. Like so that's where
Mm.
females kind of get it confused in that hey, because you find Lika attractive, you're gay. No. You gay if you find me attractive, or you know what I mean, or you're something else, you know what I mean? So that's
That
what
right
it
there.
is. So these ladies up here,
Mm.
Gigi, can you cam up for us? You got a Nubian up here. Could you cam up? And so,
I met Nubian last
one
month.
second.
I told Nubian, I said, Nubian, I don't think you're really trying. I think you're just playing up here.
It's a
I'm not
prank. It's
Do you
a
remember
prank.
what I
I'm
said?
really a woman. It's a prank. It's a
I know. I
prank. No,
told you
it's
that.
not.
Hold
Are
on.
you trying to be
No,
slick? I,
as a woman, I swear. Not really. No.
That's
I don't think I don't know.
tripping.
I enjoy being a trans woman. It's actually quite fun.
so you probably seen Gigi before. So
Mm-mm.
they're beautiful women, and it's like that lets
I
people
was
know
looking
you're
at the
straight.
photos. I see.
It's not what people think, and that's something that people like to say. This is what's going to confuse our children. And my counter to that is, do you remember when our parents didn't know or couldn't fathom that there was people coming south of the border and they wasn't all Mexicans, and you had to explain to them, no, mama, no, daddy, that's a
You know what?
Hispanic. No, they all Mexicans. They all
Before
Mexicans.
before I
You
dip
know.
out though, I
I
do.
will.
This is what
Thank
I
you.
strongly believe, and that's why I appreciate box one, two. Is it 3 or 4? I think it's box 4. I do
Uh,
appreciate box 4 for letting me know right away because I was throwing compliments and she was like, "By the way," and I appreciate that. I think our folks in that community they should just be a little bit more honest about it. I think that's really important because that'll go a long way to bridging the gap between us, right? And go a long way towards acceptance. Just honesty,
It's not
open honesty.
dishonesty.
That's what I believe.
It's not dishonesty because you were
Okay,
attracted to me and gave me compliments, and I didn't say I'm transgender, and I
I
kept going about
don't.
my day. I didn't DM you. I didn't
I
ask for
don't
your
want you to
number.
keep repeating
I
that.
didn't.
Hey,
I
box one.
didn't. I didn't.
I
I
can't
didn't
have
try
you
to.
repeating
I
that
didn't
too
try to
many
lead
times. Don't get
anywhere
mad.
else with you.
I gotta go. I'm
So
sorry, y'all. I gotta
where's
go.
where's the dishonesty? I didn't try to lead anywhere else with him. It's not dishonest because you were
right,
attracted to me and I didn't say I was trans. And remember the last time that we were all on that panel, it caused
right,
chaos. It caused
right.
utter chaos. Him saying that it was my fault that I didn't tell him, or dishonest of me that I didn't say I was trans because he's attracted to me. I don't even know what you look like. I'm not, baby, I'm not worried about you. I'm not
Men
worried
are
about you.
so weird, Lika. They're so fucking
Girl,
weird. Like, I
girl,
swear, I might as well start dating women. Like, men are just so ridiculous. Like,
I don't know
dating
about that one,
men
babe.
while trans. Well, I mean, if it was left up to me, I would date, more of like the masculine women that you guys were talking about, like lesbos, like those
Mhm.
kinds.
Yes.
That's what I
Mhm.
would date if I was
Yeah.
into
Get yourself a
women.
trans man. Get yourself a
Yeah,
trans
when you're a
man.
trans
No thanks. No thanks. They're too close to males. I'll take combination of both.
you know lesbians have the most number one highest occurrence of domestic violence, right?
Oh well, no one's gonna hit me. I'm not worried about that.
That's
Well, only
interesting.
reason why I say you stand a better chance is because you were brought up under heteronormative values.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
somebody knows, you know, to back away. They don't. They were not conditioned to back away from a fight.
Exactly right.
So
Guys
you
are
will be the
starting to
one
be
retreating.
overrated and aggy. Oh my god, men are just they're annoying. It's so annoying, especially when like
Go ahead,
I mean, I know
Latoya.
majority of the women on here pass as women, but it's like being passable and then like interacting with men and then they don't know to where they do know. Like it's so weird. It's so fucking weird because then it's like, oh, well, what do you do sexually? Like that's the first question I get when I reveal that I'm trans. Oh my God, like do you suck dick? No, I eat coochie. No, I don't do that. You don't have a coochie, so no, I'm not interested.
Like dealing with a
But
caveman.
sure.
Like
Yeah, like they act like cavemen. And it's like, well, how do you get your voice like that? I stole Ariel's voice box. That's what happened. I stole her fucking voice
like
box. And I mean, that's what happened. Oh my God, how do you look like that? Well, my mother really, really wanted a little girl and she had a boy that looked like a little girl. Next question. So it's just it's all of the explaining, like, how do you not know what trans is? We're in 2023. Like, I'm not understanding. But it's so complex. It's really complex, honestly.
So, what do you think of Phil a Nubian
It's
about?
Nubian. It's Nubian. Okay, I'm just kidding.
My bad. As I said, you know me. I'll get on these conscious panels. I'm talking about Kemet. I'm talking about ancient Nubia. You know how it goes for
Uh-huh.
me. But
uh,
how do you feel about the trans fight and struggle being closer to intersex? Do you feel like there should be in the future more of a bridge in that regard or gap, with trans and intersex being more intertwined than with the LGBT?
hold on. Let me act real straight real quick because I have to play my best Becky. Hold on one second.
All right. Oh yeah. Hey, come up here, Latoya. Come up here, Lisa. Oh. So, I guess if she's waiting. What do you guys think about the like we were saying before about gay men in trans and female spaces? Does it kind of irk you? Do you ever tell them like, hey, this is the get down? These guys, like that, straight guys are for us, and other guys who are into you, they into you. Is it something you express, or do you feel like something that needs to be expressed more in our society, or how do you deal with it when you have gay friends? 'Cause I've seen it on panels. They'll flip. They be like, "How dare you tell me he won't like me or whatever? He fucking with you."
Yeah, that's the gay men who say that to us. I was just about to say, I'm
What's
not
up,
going to
Autumn?
tell any grown adult who they can and cannot talk to. If a straight man talks to a gay man, we now know he is not straight. So that's okay. They do get some straight men because those men like men. And I don't understand, like, I don't feel like women's clothes is like only women can wear them. I don't think clothes really have a gender. And I don't feel like makeup either. Like, I feel like a gay boy can be as feminine and do whatever he wants to do, but they create that divide between us and trans women because they, as you just said out your mouth, really don't see us as the same as women. They see us as like just a really, really hyper feminized version of them.
Mhm. Right. So if a man come in here, I come in here on my
Hey, Autumn.
Drake and XXX and Stacy on. I got black fingernails. You wouldn't judge me. Drake, what do you say?
Oh,
The reason
oh,
why
I
he
thought you
did
were
that?
talking. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about dirt under your fingernails. If they're painted
Yeah,
black,
me
baby,
too.
I would not care about that. That's alternative is in right now. You're not seeing all these rappers painting their nails, and that didn't stop none of
I,
the bitches they did.
didn't Drake say he's doing it because to keep himself from biting his fingernails or some shit?
My
It
Oh,
keeps
coworker,
you
I
he
from
does
doing
his
it.
his he gets his nails done black and his toenails. My coworker, a straight man with dreads, with a girlfriend, a Becky.
oh,
Listen,
I guess the same thing for dreads with the blonde tips. They be like, oh man, they gay now. It's in like a motherfucker. They got the red and they got the blonde tips at the
how would
end.
hair
They do
color
all types
ever
of shit.
be? That's what I'm saying. The whole that's gay,
Mhm.
this gay. You could breathe around them and they'll say that's gay. Like, it's not
or
making any sense.
pause
How
every
would
goddamn minute.
yeah or pop pop like what? And you're just saying something normal.
Oh, good. So,
I have a question.
new.
Say, did you invite any like females? Obviously, Odo came in here, so that was our first, other side. Is there anyone else we should expect to come
Yes.
through? Or-
So I invited females. Well, I got kicked from a lot of their lives. So the there's a video uploaded, was it yesterday? It's like analyzing homophobia, transphobia, something like that. That goes into the video of when I tried to invite some females. I got kicked out alive, and that's when they was telling about how basically they fear that their men will find attraction to trans women if they are accepted into just general spaces in the black community. What else? They said plenty of
No,
experience.
this
Oh
is
yeah, in the
the black.
video where you and Oda, I haven't uploaded that yet. I don't think I have. I might have uploaded today because I'm just trying to hurry up and rush to create space. So I uploaded some, or it's next. It's the next one up. So yeah, expect that video so you can see what
Dawn,
Lika was talking about. Huh?
Dawn was raising her hand. She wants to say
Oh
I
yeah,
something.
go
have a
ahead, dog.
thank you. I have a question. Wait, did you say the women were saying that they feared that their men would be attracted to a trans woman?
Yeah, if I'm successful and guys come over and so forth, that's what they fear. They say, not only do I gotta worry about such and such, now I gotta worry about him liking these people and whatnot. Yeah, yeah. And I
Okay,
said
okay,
LGBT. They specifically went to trans, and then pay, like I said, pay attention to how they word it. They was only focused on trans.
okay. When did women become owners of men? When did a person have ownership over another person? Last time I remember that was around slavery time.
And I
So I don't
told you,
understand.
I told you when the manipulated man. They talk
I don't
about that.
understand that. My man,
When it,
our man. What? This man is
so
for everybody and anybody.
this, so even the Bible talks about this and how when a child is born, a woman's always supposed to have a man over her. And when she's young, a child is her father. When she gets married, it's her husband. When she gets elderly, it's her son. There's always supposed to be a man to guide her and take care of her. So men are indirectly property of women in our society. We raise young boys up from young being young to being grown men. Tell them you don't hit girls, you respect them, you back away, you always be on the defensive, you cater and do for her. But it's the females, the girls we teach, you don't owe anybody shit. You just have to get what's yours. Sure, you have a husband and so forth, but protect yourself. So many scary things out here in the world, but we're just socialized differently. And because of that, the reason why a lot of these men who are trans attracted, if it just came out and they came into a trans attracted panel and then they later regret it and that video is put out and people on their job, their community know they're trans attracted, not saying that they're in the hood, street life, they just regular Joes, and it gets back to their loved one or potential significant other, who's a female, she can make him commit suicide because it depends on how strongly he feels for her. Because he's like, I done fucked my shit up, fucking around with these trans. And it's like, it's shame. That shame runs deep because he's no longer valuable to the collective. Like it goes back to what they say of a man, like the Titanic scenario. All women and children aboard, the men have to wait and figure it out. It goes into fertility. Even with trans men, they could produce a child. So they are given a lot more leeway in society than those who cannot. And because of that, when you think about socialization and who people are, myself, I'm a heterosexual man. So I naturally click with other straight men who are the majority. What's up, Fly? Who are the majority, and we like sports, we play video games, we get along with each other, all these different things. Even though we're not as like the beehive like other women, how you guys can click, there's so much respect with one another that we see each other as what's up. There's no friction, no tension. But if a man is trans attracted or gay, he's lost all utility to another man, because that man is straight is going to think this man's trying to sleep with me. Even though it's another straight man, he just likes trans women. He has to try to explain that to this man who doesn't understand it. He might understand it back in his head, but that's why I say a lot of guys, they understand it, they just don't voice it. It's like don't ask, don't tell. So if a guy really has to come out with it, tells his homeboys or whatever, yo, I like females, I just like because they trans women are beautiful. That's it, bro. They more likely to understand, but at the same time, he might be thinking, what do you do with them? You get fucked in the ass? You gonna try to fuck me in the ass? You want me to fuck you in the ass? It's that precautions that men, we genetically don't like to be put in a vulnerable position. The fetal position, all these different things is about not being put in those positions. If you look at history, men are only been put in fetal positions when they have to surrender in war or when they doing what? Praying to an altar. That's it. That's the only time we ever want to be put in a fetal position. And when we think about another man in that type of position, we think less of them automatically. In the Black community, this goes back to Eldridge Cleaver and Huey P. Newton, the fear and doubt that Black men are not men in our society, because the white man's been stumping on us for so long that Eldridge Cleaver brings up gay men, and he says that he sees them as tools of white supremacy. And this goes into people like Umar Johnson, who he has a famous saying that we can't have LGBT people in our fight, because the first thing the white man's going to do is get them to bend over, and they ain't going to want to fight no more. So that type of thinking goes all the way back. It runs deep. Men, so by you being gay or trans attracted, you're no longer useful to the straight community, the straight men. Women or females are not going to see you as a true protector or provider, because they, for multiple reasons, they might think of you the same way a man will. You're getting fucked in the ass, or other people you're sleeping with. So who's left? Who can really be in your corner as a group? Gay men. That's why a lot of men who come out as trans attracted or gay, who tends to be their best friends? How does their circle tends to shift? A lot of times it tends to shift to the gay men, because the gay men are the only ones left to respect them. They've lost everybody else's respect. And that's why once that clicks in, a lot of them commit suicide. Oh, thank you.
That was
Thanks,
deep.
Fly. But
So then
yeah,
that's probably why they don't disclose that they're trans attracted, because they don't want to lose that, and they don't want to have to go over to hanging out with gay men. They don't even like gay men themselves. They're homophobic themselves.
But that's why I say we have to break down these barriers and understanding.
But how? And who?
For trans attracted men, they just have to lie in their masculinity. That's it. For instance,
what does that mean?
Whether it's true or not, people don't like me breaking this up, but they say Shaka Zulu used to bone his soldiers. And reason why he did it was because he knew, and if you guys ever seen Beasts of No Nation, the Idris Elba movie, he's like an African dictator, a warlord. He was having sex with those young boys. He was getting them high, and he was having sex with them. And what that did was he knew that they were always going to be loyal to him, because you don't really have to worry about somebody committing harm to you. Who you have sex with, who you bone, you don't really see them as a threat. If anybody's going to betray me, it's not going to be those who I have sex with, who I fucked in the ass. So that type of pathology runs deep. Look at prison. Why? Well, now, of course, prison is not all about rape and shit. I don't believe. Never been to prison. I don't think that way. What up, Adonis? But a lot of that goes into why they do it. That animalistic, I need to make sure you bend over and everybody else knows that you are under me. And it's that shit's deep. How the pathology. We have to they have to lie in their masculinity. That's why I tell men, whether they're straight, gay, whatever, to read The Manipulated Man, because it breaks society down. The way we see females and so forth in life is we're here to cater to them. Tupac said it himself. He didn't make, thanks Adonis, thank you. You can come up, Adonis. He didn't make music for guys, or he stopped doing it because men didn't buy music like that. But the same way with Beyonce tickets, what did they know they could do? Get the men to buy for their ladies. A lot of people who bought those Beyonce tickets, they weren't women, they were men buying it for their girls. So it's like that stuff runs deep. You cater to the women, you take care of the women, the rest of society will fall. But that goes into a lot of things with the Black community when it comes down to breaking up the family homes and so forth, because it didn't start with the Black community. They did the same thing to the Native Americans in Canada. They knew that to get to the children, to break the families up, they had to get to the women. They because they were locking their men up the same as mass incarceration like we had here in Canada. But the women kept their culture and they kept their children separate from the system. They didn't take welfare. And that's when the women went to jail. So Black American women took the welfare. And by them taking the welfare, it still broke up families, but in their homes and stuff. But they still had the same goal in mind and just different initiatives and how they did it. But yeah, it all goes into the same pot. You control the woman, you control the men, you control the children. In slavery, they made sure who was running the plantations. Sure, they had a big, strong buck to do the whipping, but who was the overseers? Who was the number one overseer for HR's departments? Or for when a lot of women, Black women, get credit for being in these high roles, managing the men, who the hound dogs, who they see as the hound dogs. They see, thank you, Fla. They see the women as the hound dogs. They make the best hound dogs because you know why? I don't have to worry about this woman trying to compete with me when it comes down to who I'm going to sleep with. She can be managing men and women. She's not going to compete with me to sleep with those women under her. Matter of fact, she's going to help protect me and make sure because I'm taking care of her. She's going to make sure they stay in line. So it's a lot of this stuff is deep and why our community is the way it is. That's why we have to break down these pathologies that we have and these misconceptions about others. We see others as freaks, this, that, and the third. But we don't ever want to have these conversations and learn from people because then it truly brings out the broader picture and we see what's going on.
Hello, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, Joseph? How you doing, brother?
How y'all ladies doing today?
Good.
Do you also
So,
notice how, in reference to, having conversations and learning, a lot of people who are ignorant tend to, let's say you have a group of ignorant people, when one person opens their mind and questions and wants to learn, why does the group of ignorant people then try to steer them back to ignorance and belittle them and try to shame them away from learning more and becoming more open?
yeah, like Adonis says, it's a bullying
It's a very
tactic.
crabs in a barrel mentality.
They're breaking away from the fold. So they must come back or you break them entirely. Break them back in or just break them entirely. That's what it's about. It's maintaining the heteronormative structure we have. People are threatened by, because what are some of the fear tactics they say? They say that if this is accepted, this means that the population is going to be lower. Last time I checked, it's about 8 billion people on the planet. The world's not having a production problem. We can produce humans like
Far from it. We have a food
right.
shortage coming up.
Well, that goes into the biggest thing that we will have to worry about as the human race is water. We only use about 1% of the water on Earth, and it's depleting fast because of pollution and so forth. So the closest is water. When it comes down to food, it's just mismanaging of people, all these conglomerates and corporations. That's what it is.
We
But if I
ain't,
have a
we ain't
business,
never gonna run out of food. All that food we be eating is clone. It be
yeah,
like
then you
three
got
kales
vertical
on the farm.
farming.
Y'all really think it's kales in the world? It be like 3 kales on the farm. Y'all better pay attention.
You got vertical farming too. Vertical farming, we don't
I never heard of that
we
before. I
make a
don't
lot of.
believe it.
Well, that kind of goes a little bit into GMO, and it's like high rises that specifically for growing crops, and they'll be in one structure or building area. So the area square footage from on the ground level is small in comparison to how much work it gets done on all those floors. Something else too they're going to be working on in the future that other societies are doing, but we're just not ready for. We're going through culture lag in this respect. Is vertical cemeteries. Cemeteries, we're losing so majority of the land in America is cemeteries because we don't ever move cemeteries. So if we go to a vertical cemetery system, and people can go see their ancestors on the 15th floor and so forth and so on. It saves a lot of land, and we can expand a lot.
Burying a family member in your backyard makes your house becomes a cemetery, and you no longer have to pay taxes, and that the government can't take that house out of your family at that point.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I've been thinking about it, like low key. I ain't gonna lie. That's a good investment. Then you ain't got to go so
It
far
is
out.
a good investment.
You see them right there. They will always be with you.
My
But
house gonna be like American Horror Story up in this bitch.
Adonis is a gay man or a pansexual man. So,
DeAndre.
that's right, DeAndre. Uh, he's pansexual, so I'm sure he sees it as a lot as well. What do you think about gay men who try to compete in the same spaces as trans women and females, like the whole
I mean,
gay for pay? They try to.
I got a big thought on that. Like I got a big thought on that. I got a lot to say about that because I don't even like these. Excuse my language, but I don't even like these faggies for real. Like, if we really being real, I don't even like these faggies for real. Like, they get on my nerves. But like, no, like today, I was being trolled by a trans woman because she doesn't like I'm naturally masculine energy and feminine energy. Like really the most thing about feminine about me is my voice. Like I be a nigga in these streets. But a lot of trans women feel some type of way about gay males that present as feminine energy. But I don't think men or trans women should be competing with biological women for womanhood. Like it's two different types of womanhood. Like you're a trans woman, and a woman is a woman. Like that whole debate about periods, like I think that's crazy. Like, come on. How y'all gonna take periods away from straight women? Like, I mean biological women.
Wait, did you watch that full video? Because they took a small clip that trans woman was talking about trans men, saying that
No,
it's
Yeah,
like
I'm not talking about the video.
and that
I'm
video
just
was
talking
two
about the
years old, by the way.
conversation.
That somebody else reposted. It was a 2-year-old video. They knew what they were doing.
Thank you.
No,
Neighborhood
like
talk.
I'm not talking about the video. I'm not talking about the video. I'm talking about as a person that's in the alphabet community. Like I've been around trans people who do feel like they have and they're entitled to feel like they have a period. And I'm just like I just
I have
like
never
to be
seen that.
fighting. I've
yeah,
seen
I've
it.
heard
I've
of that
seen it.
either.
And I'm happy that you haven't seen it. But like I have seen it. And I think that the mindset, like trans women need to stop attacking cisgender women, and cisgender women need to stop attacking trans women. Like it goes both ways. They need to stop attacking each other, like especially as black people.
I don't I don't agree with the first thing you said when you had said that a female's womanhood is different from a trans woman's womanhood.
It is because
Well,
real trans women. Let me finish, baby. Let me finish. Real trans women are going to tell you at the end of the day, you were born biologically a man. That doesn't take your womanhood away from you. But you were born a male. You're never going to be able to get rid of that Y chromosome. You are a trans woman, and there's nothing wrong with being a trans woman versus being a woman. You're not the same. But you're a woman.
We never
I would
said we
never
were the
take that
same.
womanhood away from you.
We never said
What
we
you
were
say?
the same.
No, but I'm no, I'm not. I'm answering number one's question.
can I respond?
I'm not attacking anybody. But you didn't say that, but there are trans women that have said that. And we're not going to pretend like there are, like, you can't judge a whole group of people by a
Adonis,
couple of
breathe,
people.
breathe, breathe, breathe.
No, I'm breathing. I'm
Um,
from Baltimore. That's just how we talk.
It sounds like you were just doing that though, judging a few people and then judging the whole group when you said there's trans women that try to gatekeep periods from females.
There are some trans women that do that. I'm not talking about all
Keyword.
trans women.
But you said that we need to like stop doing that. Like that's crazy now. I feel like
They
if
do
that's how
need to
those
stop
girls,
doing that. The
if
ones
that's
that
how
do it. If you're not a trans woman that does that,
Adon-
why are you taking offense to it?
Adonis, you told me to, respectfully let you finish. You have cut me off
I'm
now 4
sorry.
times.
I'm sorry. I'm just passionate. I'm so sorry.
And I'm passionate too, but I feel like I'm passionate because you said something about womanhood and about dividing females and trans women. We are trying to put us together.
And
We're trying to
that's
put us
why
together.
y'all having problems with the biological women.
I feel like that's not why we're having problems with the
That is
biological
why
women.
that's the
I
problem
feel
right
like
there. Y'all don't want to see
I feel
that
like
that's the
Sage.
problem.
I don't know if you were in here the whole live, but Sage kind of explained it perfectly. The issues
I
that
know. I
females
talk to Sage
have
all the
against
time.
trans women. It's actually about the men. Because
Yeah,
as
it's
Doll
rooted.
said, when females and trans women are in a room together, we all get along. We all uplift each other. We are all empathetic to each other. We all connect and relate to each other.
And that does happen sometimes, but not all the time. I have been in situations where I've seen trans women attack biological women for being biological. And I have also been in situations where I've seen biological women be jealous of trans women.
Right.
It
And I,
exists. We can't
and I feel
erase it.
like
We have to, if we want to make a real change, we have to acknowledge everything. I'm
you're
not
right. We
saying
need
that
to
y'all
acknowledge
those type of
everything.
trans women. I'm not trying to say that y'all aren't those ones. That y'all
But
are
my
those
thing is,
ones. I'm
you're
just
not.
saying they
The women that
exist.
you're sharing their experiences with us, you weren't them. So you don't know exactly what happened between
But
that female and
I have women friends that open and talk to me about that.
but girls gossip and so do gays. They gossip and facts are
I've
lost.
been around
Unless you
those
are that
situations
person.
where they happen. Like I'm from Baltimore, y'all.
Wait, just
It's
listen to me,
ratchet
Adon.
here. The
Just
trans
listen,
girls in Baltimore tries it, and so do the females. Cause we
Adonis.
all got to
Adonis.
be hooded, and we all got to be more
Let,
ghetto
let,
than the
let,
next
let, let
person.
Lika speak. Let her say what she's gonna
I'm
say.
sorry.
Go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
Lika.
I just feel like because you can never be these trans women or females in Baltimore, and I don't mean like you can't transition. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm saying you physically cannot jump into their bodies and know exactly what happened and what transpired. So we cannot sit here and say, well, it's just trans women attacking females for no reason. We know the reason. There's
Never
always a
said
reason.
that.
And we can't say that these females attacking trans women, there wasn't a valid reason for that either.
Said
So
that.
I feel like women fight. That's what women do. Women are catty.
Right.
That's what women do with each other. They always compete with each other. That's not different from a female or a trans woman because we all do that amongst each other and across
I
the board.
agree, and I
So the
agree. You
fact
are
that we are
taking what I said
walking
so much
in
deeper
the
than what I was
same
saying.
the way that we walk in the same womanhood amongst females and trans women is why we don't need to be separated. There are females
But
that cannot have a period and cannot have children. They are still
you're
women. It
right.
doesn't take away from being a woman because we have penises and we can't have kids and we can't bleed. That doesn't take
I
away from us
wasn't
being
talking about that. I
real
wasn't
women.
even thinking about it that deep. I really wasn't thinking about it that deep. You
Baby,
are taking it so much.
I
You are
take no
taking it
offense
so much
to
deeper
anything
than what
you're
I was
saying.
saying. You are going
You don't
left
we don't have
field
to
in
we don't have to
defensive mode.
we don't have to deflect
What I
because
said
you
triggered you, and you're being very defensive about it because I was not attacking you, and you are taking what I was saying as a personal attack, and I don't know you to
Well, no,
personally.
she just explaining her point. She just letting it
No,
be known.
I get that, but like
Mm,
the way she's explaining her point,
like
she's making
Kiara.
it seem like I attacked her. Like at the end of the day, trans women and women are different. Period. You can't change that.
Sounds very calm
no,
to me.
I'm being really calm and honestly I'm not letting my emotions get to me. I'm high right now. I'm very zen. Trust me, when my emotions get to me, oh Joseph has an
Oh,
echo.
okay.
Um
Oh, okay.
when my emotions get to me, I act crazy. I act just like, the crazy people you've seen on this app. I want you to know that I just want to have a constructive conversation with you. And I do believe like when you make your underlining statement of females are completely different from trans women and that's just that, I disagree with you there. And I'm
I
trying
don't
to
mind you
explain to you why
disagreeing
I
with.
disagree.
No,
And I
I
don't think the
understand. You don't
problem
have to
that
over
we
explain
have,
yourself.
can
I
I finish?
understand.
Wait, Adonis, you don't have to respond to everything I say. Just listen, baby.
I just no, I understand, and like you're over
Wait,
explaining
wait,
yourself for
Wait,
something else,
Adon,
but
let her
explaining
finish.
it
Let
don't
her
mean
finish.
it.
mute yourself, Joseph.
What?
So what?
Okay, I got.
Thank
I muted you, Joseph. 1 second.
you.
Let Lucas speak. Go ahead.
I just don't. I feel like the issue between women and trans women, it's simply just transphobia and cis heteronormativity. That's it. That's it in a nutshell. And then that breaks down to factors of where the men play come into play of it. That's it. And Sage had perfectly analyzed, gave us examples earlier in this live. Like he talks about this all the time. So that's all I was trying to say. Just I respectfully disagree. That's all. But your opinion is valid because I'm sure there's people that agree with you.
Yeah. And my question to Daz was more so with gay men in trans, because okay,
Right.
I'll break it down to this way: straight men are attracted to females and or women and trans women. That's it. And it's I see gay men in the same spaces thinking that they can compete for the same guys because a trans woman might have a penis, might not, so forth and so on. And so they see it as, okay, you will be open to me. And I feel like some of them might feel kind of slighted because they don't understand that there's a different audience for them. They have an audience of gay men who like them, whether they're masculine or feminine. There's men out there for them, but because of trans women, they might even know a trans woman before she was trans and was like, "Damn, now you're getting these guys and so forth." So what about that jealousy, or can you speak on anything in that regard
I can't
with
speak on that because I'm not a
mhm.
gay man. I really
Okay, have
can't
you
speak on none
seen
of these topics. None of us can really speak on these topics. Y'all can talk about trans stuff. I can talk about pan stuff. You can talk about heterosexual stuff. None of us really should be touching on these topics if we're going to go that route in the conversation. Because
well, we're
that's
just
not
talking
none
about
of
each
our
other's
table.
is
I'm not a gay man. And
experiences.
do I think gay men should do that? No. Why, like me as a person, I'm not in competition with a motherfucking person. So I don't know. I don't understand why everybody is in competition with everybody else. It's not that deep. It's not that serious. We all get to
I,
be individuals. We all get to live these original lives that nobody in existence will ever live. We feel things and go through things that nobody will ever go through and nobody will ever have emotional responses to. We are so unique and we need to just accept the fact that we're all unique and we're all different. And it's okay. There's no reason for us to be jealous of each other, especially as Black people.
um jealousy amongst the Black community definitely is like us going through generational trauma from slavery because we were all treated differently.
No,
Um
I understand that.
Even if
I
it was
speak on that
slightly
all the time.
different.
Sage heard me say that.
Yeah. So I think it's
100%.
okay for Black people to be jealous. That's a human thing. That's not, I don't think it's like, oh,
I
we're Black,
didn't
so we
say.
can't be jealous.
See, you're picking and choosing
No,
things that I'm
baby.
saying. I
I'm
was
not
talking
even
about
saying that you
people
Wait,
in
said
hey,
that. I'm
general.
not even
just
I'm
let
not
her
even I don't
finish,
want you to
and
feel
then we're gonna go to
anything
Joseph.
is
He has something he want
personal.
to say.
I don't think anything, I'm not trying to say nothing to personally attack you or comment. I'm just adding to the conversation. That's all. And I wanted to touch on base of how I think there's this like narrative in the gay community, and it was even kind of in Dave Chappelle's joke, where his joke was, we have a car. You got the L, you got the G, you got the B, and then you have the T, and then he describes each letter. And then when he gets to the T, he said that the T is slowing down the car for everybody and making the ride, annoying.
One
Can you
second, mute
uh
fly. We get a little
yeah,
feedback.
you got to mute her. She's listening to music. hmm
Oh wait,
Um,
I got you, fly. Just
but yeah, that Dave Chappelle
just let me
joke,
know, fly. Now bring it
where he
back.
said the LGBT and it's in a car and the T is slowing down the ride for everybody. It's slowing them down from rights and acceptance. So I feel like there is this like stigma against trans women that we just lash out and go against females. We go against feminine gay boys, and it's really not the case because they all have that stigma already about us. They're so quick to demonize us and we're the problems. We're the ones who pop off on people first, but they already have that preconceived notion about us. You know, like Adonis, not saying that you said this, but you referenced how there are some trans girls that don't, cannot take the femme gay boys. And I feel like that's not true. I just feel like that trans woman
It
has been
just
tried by a lot of
it
those
just
femme
had
gay
it happened
boys.
to me earlier. A
But you see
trans
how
girl on here stopped.
you,
A trans girl
but
on
you
here
see
stopped being cool.
but you see how when I tried to talk and you were talking, you
Oh,
quickly,
I'm sorry. I thought
shut
you were
me down.
done. I thought you were done. I'm
No.
sorry.
No. I'm saying I'm talking about earlier when I was beginning my statement and you cut me off. You immediately shut me down for trying to talk again, and I respectfully was quiet. I listened. I
And
gave you
I
that response.
apologize. I'm not a perfect
And
person. I
but
always
let me
apologize for
finish.
that.
Let me
Sage,
finish.
no, I
You
always apologize
let
for
me
that.
finish. You also told me that I was hurt by your words. You projected that on me. You also said I was in my feelings. I was getting aggressive. You felt like I felt hit by what you were saying. But I want you to understand, I feel like those are the preconceived notions. You're already assuming that I'm an angry black trans woman.
I'm
And that's
not.
not the case.
I never
That's not
said
the
that.
case.
I never said that. And
And
this is
and
what
Well,
I
and
don't
no,
like
no.
about
What
Bigo,
she's
and this is
talking
why I
about,
don't like
Adonis,
having
is
these conversations.
subtext.
No, this is why I don't like having these conversations on Bigo.
but see, it's your
Because you're
verbiage.
taking it
See, this
personal.
isn't why I
You're
like
taking
having these.
everything as an attack, and
Wait,
it's not an attack.
let's let Joseph get in
Y'all
here.
know
He
I'm
got
about to
something he want
dip,
to
yo.
say.
Like, I got other shit on Bigo I couldn't
What's
put
that?
on right now.
Go
I'm
ahead,
about to
Joseph.
nervous.
You got the floor. Go
Okay, what
ahead.
I see about that, people, I've seen in my life, I got a gay cousin, and he told me straight up that he's gay, but the thing about it, no matter if you gay or not, it's still the same by having getting the change to be a female. And so I know a lot about it because, like I said, I got a gay cousin. He like guys, but how he said it that if a person want to be gay, that's their problem. And you got transsexuals that trying to be a woman. That's a tranny trying to be a woman. And that's how I learned about it because my cousin told me. So I don't know if I'm trying to tell y'all right, but that's what my cousin told me. If a person got a problem with a gay person, ma'am, if a person got a problem with a gay person, it's something wrong with them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. But to answer about one question, like a trans girl on here just attacked me today and tried to rally all her trans sisters and say, "You're a bitch queen, you're a bitch queen. You will never be a trans girl, you will never be a woman, bitch. You're mad, ha ha." And I'm like, first of all, I'm a
Okay.
cisgender male and I'm happy to be a cisgender male. So all I'm saying is we can't pretend like those people don't exist. I don't think anybody on this panel was like that, but those people do exist. All get
That sounds
all
like a troll to me.
but I'm
Right.
just saying
That's like some
they
Bigo
is a
shit.
troll.
That's
They
some
is
Bigo
a troll, but they
shit.
exist.
Yeah.
People troll in
Now
real life.
I'm gonna be honest. It'll be pretty on me. You got so many trainers that's real beautiful. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh wait.
But
Before we continue, Joseph, it's
Trans
trans.
women.
Yeah,
Trans women,
tranny is
trans,
a,
trans, trans. Not
derogatory term.
trans.
It's like
Tranny is
you saying
offensive.
nigger or something.
I'm
Just so
training.
you know. Yeah.
But you got some beautiful molehill, some real beautiful ones. But a lot of people need to stop picking at them because
They
they
do.
they how can I say they need to stop picking at them because you don't know what that person went through in their life. You don't know what happened, but they don't care.
Right.
They all want to pick at somebody and they don't care. You feel me? And
I
that's
just
what's wrong. Hold on,
I
bro.
was just saying earlier, like I wasn't trying to bash trans women. Like that's not what I was saying. I said There are some trans women that attack cisgender women, and there are cisgender women that attack trans women.
Wait.
They
Let Joseph
exist.
finish. Let
Oh,
Joseph
I'm
finish
sorry.
because he really said something. You had something you want to say, Joseph?
But like
Go
when
ahead.
people say that the people have, they need to leave them alone. Cause they mad because something done happened to them. You know what I'm saying? And that's that's what happened. If people, if something happened to them, that's the reason why. But you got people out in the community now. Oh, look at that person. Look at, oh, she's trying to be a female. Look what she getting herself into. You feel me? But they don't understand that person could have went through something in her life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what I
Exactly.
see. And
That makes sense. When he done.
But you do have you. I'm gonna let her know, y'all. These girls is on here beautiful. I ain't gonna call them no trans. Say beautiful, beautiful women. But go ahead, man.
I just want to thank you for that, Joseph. And I just want to say there's a lot of like verbiage I'm hearing that I find to be very like counterproductive when it comes to speaking on trans women. This idea that we're trying to be a woman. No, we are women.
Yeah, y'all are women.
I just want to clarify that. Another thing is that I just want to talk about my experiences as a trans woman on Bigo so that we can get a concept of what really is the issue. Okay, I went on one panel. I asked them if it was a trans friendly panel. They asked me if I'm trans. I said yes. I cammed up. There was no issues. The host asked if I'm trans, and I say yes. And suddenly, I need to put trans or TS on my name. I'm tricking men. I'm tricking people. The women are all in agreement that I'm tricking people. And when a man enters the room and has interest in me, it is my job to disclose that I'm trans to a complete stranger, regardless of his interest in me or not. That's the first issue. Boom.
So basically,
So
how they
basically, Joseph, you have an echo.
no, that ain't me.
Is it?
That
That
wasn't
is
me.
you.
Just
Everyone
let us
else
know
is
when you want
muted.
to. Yeah, let
See,
us
it's
know when
gone
you want
now.
to speak, and I'll mute you.
Yeah. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is this whole trans women attack females and females attack trans women. Both happen, but there is definitely one that's happening on a larger degree, and we cannot deny it, is that there are more cisgender females that have a problem with trans women than trans women that have problems with females. And I have seen that. There is no trans woman on a panel actively talking bad about a female with no females present. But there are females that talk bad about trans women with no trans women present, especially in the presence of men. Say how we trick them. They'll always coddle and defend the man. They will always coddle and defend a man when it has anything to do with trans women. And when we're alone with them, we're beautiful. We're women just like them. The moment a man gets in the room, just to let you know that's a man. Suddenly our gender has switched when a man comes in the picture. And they feel the need to warn him as if we are something dangerous. So I don't want us to get confused. Yes, there is discourse on both sides, but it's
Right.
definitely heavily more one-sided than anything.
Where you done? I don't want to cut you off. I'm
Go
trying
ahead.
not to cut people
I'm
off.
done.
I really apologize in advance. Like, I don't mean to cut people off. That's really just like where I live at. That's how we talk. So I really apologize about that. Like, I want to hear your opinions. I just as I don't see, you know, I'm not trans, so like I don't see it as much as y'all do. Like I am a protector of everybody. So I have like there was a girl like she's really cool, but she was coming for the trans girls one day, and I put her in her place. I was like, "Bitch, how dare you?" Like that was giving jealousy. Like why would you do that? But I have seen trans women that do talk about it. Like I have been on panels where trans women bashing women for being women, and I have met trans women that bash gay men. I'm not saying like I don't know the like I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I know like the numbers or the rates or the percentages. I'm just answering y'all question the best way of my knowledge. I from a pansexuals man point of view, I see women are taking trans women and trans women are taking women. I'm like y'all think like I get why y'all taking it so personal. I get it because that's the lifestyle that y'all live. I'm not against trans women. I'm not against women. I'm not against nobody. I'm just saying, like, from my point of view, like, that's not my table. That's not my problem. So to me, it just looks like they are taking each other. But
Well,
neither one should be attacking the other one. And when I said that, like, I'm just a person that really believes in science. So trans women are women. And shouldn't nothing take your womanhood from you? Shouldn't no cisgender woman be able to say nothing to bring you down because you are a woman and you know you are a woman and can't nobody take your womanhood from you? I was just answering it from my point of view. I'm not a trans person.
I have a follow-up question. Okay, so with that logic, why do you think that so many females felt offended by that trans woman video, even and took it out of context? Even when they knew the context, they still ran with it. With
No,
that
and I'm
logic,
not. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that that didn't happen. I was defending that video and the trans woman in that video.
no, I'm saying with that, I'm just asking your opinion on with that logic that
And
no one can take
that
your
was my
womanhood.
opinion. Like I don't think that should happen, but we like you're trying to point out situations where where women are attacking trans women. I'm not saying that they don't.
No, I'm saying what
No,
do you
she's
think
asking
caused
questions.
that? Do you think there was
Her
already
transphobia
yeah, do you think
and
it was rooted in
jealousy.
that?
I think it was rooted in transphobia and jealousy. And
I
mind
was
you, and Sage, you know, my TikTok has been banned for the last 40 days. I cannot send messages because I was cussing out a cisgender woman because I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, first of all, trans women are not out here making it seem like y'all are less than them. That's jealousy. If a person can make you feel that way, that has something to do with you, not them.
Right. Okay. Okay. A lot of people talk about trans or LGBT are having these special rights, and one of my supporters, he wasn't feeling it when I just simply asked him to let me know what are these laws. He said they have more rights than we do. What are those rights? Please explain to me those rights. And he just threw a hissy fit, and I was trying to help him out. I even got Chat GPT. I framed it in perspective of what he was asking. Let me see. So up here. Okay. I said, prove that the LGBT has more rights than straight people in the United States in the books of law, local as well as federal. And it said, while it's not accurate to say that the LGBT community has more rights than straight people, the legal landscape has evolved to address historical inequalities and discrimination faced by LGBT individuals. Some legal developments have aimed to ensure equal treatment and protection under the law. And here are a few key points to consider: marriage equality, anti discrimination laws, hate crime protections, military service, health care rights, adoption and parenting, and conversion therapy bans. So those are all things that uniquely affect the LGBT that was needed. It had to be on the books, and he couldn't wrap his mind around that these special rights you're talking about had to be installed the same way as the 13th Amendment and other local acts, as well as the fight for reparations. We have a due process for that. So we have to understand the same thing with affirmative action that they repealed for colleges, I believe, that they have a reason for these things because